I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top. Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, then I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Legendary Sports Podcast.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
The Fantasy Football Edition. I'm Jared Michelson.
I'm Antoine Beeks.
And today we are going to talk some draft strategy, and we're going to talk some of our picks at the ADP ranges of those players. So we have some people that we both kind of picked in different rounds as to why we want to get them, and then we're going to see if we can poke holes in each other as to if that's good or bad.
I'm excited to see if we agree on anything.
I'm sure we do, but I'm sure we disagree on a lot more.
Let's get to it.
Yes. So let's go into the draft strategy, and let's see. I'll let you start because you've mentioned yours before, and I like to hear it, but go ahead and tell your draft strategy.
You know what? I think there's more booming, not boom or bust. I think there's more booming wide receivers in the league because it's a pass-happy league.
Yep.
And I think that there's more booming wide receivers than there is running backs, man. And sometimes these leagues are starting to jump with so many. The NFL is starting to produce so many more stars, first off, that now I'm starting to see these fantasy leagues start to produce a lot more flex opportunities, 2 quarterback leagues, 3 wide receivers instead of just 2 wide receivers in a flex. They're starting to produce so much more space for these players to play that I go wide receiver heavy because
that's what I was waiting for.
Hey, listen.
That's what I was waiting for.
If you got 2 flex, man, in a pass-happy league, man, like, we counted it out the other day. There's only 10 running backs out of 32 teams that's the lead dog in the backfield. Everyone else is just sharing split carries. And one week it could be this guy, and the next week it's going to be this guy. Some of these guys, like the
just proved my point.
No.
For the running backs early.
No.
But that's okay. Thank you.
Okay. So here's where I poke a hole in that.
One.
Here's where I poke a hole in
one.
that. No, here's where I poke a hole in what you have going. So we're in a 12-team league, right?
PPR, right?
PPR.
Yep.
There's only 10.
That's why you need to get those RBs early. That's why you need to start grabbing those elite dogs because there is only 10. And when there's 2 receivers on each team that can get 900 to 1,000 yards, there's plenty of opportunity for wide receiver 2, 3s to fill your roster. There's tons of that in the later rounds even. I got examples of that later on, man.
Okay, well, hey, don't save it for later. Just go ahead and poke a hole because, excuse me, I don't think that there's a lot of Jamar Chases, Stephon Diggs, and
there's more opportunity for that. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a perfect example. You can get him later, and he could be a top 10 receiver.
No, you can't.
Oh, yes, you can.
There's going to be so many.
Instead of going around 1-2, you can go 3-4 or 4-5, depending on where Ridley falls in that, and get yourself a top 10, top 12 receiver, and
if you got a guy like me in your first 4 rounds, there ain't gonna be nothing left after messing.
But that's the point. Like, you got guys like Jerry Jeudy. All these guys go later.
Man, you're talking about guys who haven't done anything. Jerry Jeudy,
but the guys that now have the opportunity to do something, they're in better positions than they have been in their past. Jerry Jeudy's got now again, I'm a Russ hater. I've been hating on Russ, but Russ can throw the rock if he needs to throw the rock, right? And now Jerry Jeudy's taking up the number 1 role over Sutton and other players, and the rest of that team went down. There is who's left. So there's opportunity. You got to look at opportunity. You don't have, like I talked about it the other podcast. You don't need to have the best offense. You need to have the best opportunity. This is fantasy. We're not talking about the real world for football. We're talking about fantasy, and there's all kinds of opportunity for Jeudy, Ridley, these guys.
Hey, there's a lot of opportunities for Samaje Perine, and
I like him.
and who the Alexander Madison
I like
and
him.
Micah Carter and Zeke Elliott, who's in free agency.
No, I don't. There's not opportunity for that. But that's okay.
And Gus Edwards.
I like him.
And also J.K. Dobbins.
I like him.
So you like all of these guys who are sharing backfields, who are doing these. I like these guys too. When you could get these guys
sharing, yes, but we talked about J.K. What's the injury gonna look like? You were just poking holes in that the other day.
Okay, so what about Jonathan?
so that makes Gus look better.
Hey, so listen, what's the number one injury spot in the NFL?
Oh, RBs for sure.
You one injury away from coming to knock on my door and get.
That's why I need the
guy.
talent when I can get it. That's why I need to fill up, because there is that injury. I need to fill up what I can for RBs, because there's receivers all over the map. There's ones and twos everywhere. Shoot, man, we can fill a whole. That's no problem. There's two receivers lining up all the time, man. That's not.
Hey, listen. And
there's no one.
And there's a RB getting hurt every week. And here's also the thing, man. Like, everybody's.
But you can't. Yeah, again, I agree with you with the RBs getting hurt every week, but you can never predict the injuries. And if they are, then you need to cuff those. Remember I talked about handcuffing. I'm a big handcuffer. If I know my 1-2s, I want that.
Man, listen. Let me tell you this. The last top 10 running backs, the last 2 to 3 years have all been hurt. Name them: Josh Jacobs, hurt; Derrick Henry, hurt; Christian McCaffrey, hurt. Who else? Alvin Kamara's falling off the map.
Yeah, his is different, but we gotta talk about Kamara too. No, Kamara got suspended for 3 games.
Falling off the map, right?
to me, that screams value. There's only 3 games.
Dalvin Cook
sitting on the sidelines, but that's cool.
What do you want from these running backs, man? They're gonna be like dinosaurs in the next 3 years, bro. And then my draft strategy of drafting these wide receivers will come to truth. And you better start. You got to figure out how to draft them now. Don't wait until it's 3 years later when there's no running backs for you.
Well, I'm gonna get the running backs while they're still good, while they still have some juice in their legs. Because when you're drafting them 2 years from now, when they're basically hobbling along,
man, I'm just saying that they're gonna do away with that position. Period. They're gonna bring back fullbacks to block.
Because once they realize how boring and how flat the NFL is, as you just watching people on 7-on-7 camp, they're gonna be like, no, we don't want to do this. This is just 7-on-7 camp at this point.
I'm just not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of it. So I've been in this.
So let's go back and let's elaborate on your strategy then. So let's circle back then. So your RB guy, our wide receiver guy. When are you picking running backs up? What round are you starting? Since you're technically a 0 RB strategy guy, so what
0 RB strategy guy?
Are you going way late?
You have to survey the lamb, right? So, guys, those of you who don't create a big board in your fantasy and you're just looking, oh, I like this guy. Oh, I like this guy. Oh, this guy is available. Every year I make a board of my top 5 players at this position, then this position, then what round should I be looking at these guys at? Who should I be looking here? I always have the 16, 17 guys. I always, looking at the, the Aaron Joneses of the worlds, the Kenneth Walkers, the J.K.
You're
Dobbins.
never going to find them because you got the person like me who's going to snag those guys up in those rounds.
Hey, listen, but I'm just telling you, these guys make my board. The Isaiah Pacheco's, the Cam Akers. You can't get them all. And just like you said, and listen, just like you said, there's only one running back. You go ahead and have all those running backs and can't play them. You at least get 2 wide receivers in every league.
I can put 3 backs on there. I can put 1 in the flex.
So you're gonna put 2 running backs in the flex?
I'm gonna put two running backs playing because we play with 2 running backs, and then 1 flex position. I'm putting the 3rd one in the flex.
How about it, man? I'm gonna. And listen, I've been playing in this.
It also goes deeper than that too, John. Sorry to interrupt
go.
But there's also trade value. I can always package and deal and upgrade my wide receiver with that. So the reason you grab running backs because they are scarcity is because you can use them, package them and wheel and deal them for greater talent at wide receiver, tight end, whatever positions that you need to fill the void. Because to your point, running backs do get hurt early. So if I have an array of running backs that's healthy or decent, then you need me. I don't need you at receiver. I can go to the waiver wire and better chance of finding a receiver than a running back.
So here's the thing. There's always 2 to 3 guys who really just come into fantasy football and just pick. And just, I like football, so I'm going to pick. And I'm going to pick. And I'm going to pick. And then they miss guys, man, that go in the later rounds. You can get serviceable running backs. You can't get top-tier wide receivers. You telling me that you brought up Calvin Ridley.
We're talking top tier. You can't get top-tier running backs in that either.
I don't need a top-tier running back.
And I don't need a top-tier receiver.
You surely do in this league.
No, you don't. In a PPR league?
Who scores in a PPR league?
How many receivers are you seeing that get 180 targets? There was 2.
There's only a few of them.
Exactly. And so there's less of that than there is a quality running back.
Guess who? Yeah. And Isaiah Pacheco killed it last year. I played with Jerick McKinnon, and he produced. Right?
He did produce.
He produced
enough anyway.
Enough,
not consistently though. And that's another point though. Is would you rather go Saquon Barkley for a season, or would you have Jerick McKinnon for a season?
Injury.
But
Jerick McKinnon
also had injuries a lot too, so you can't say that he also had injury a lot. So he missed plenty of time with injury. So go back to the question: Saquon Barkley for a year or Jerick McKinnon for a year, fully healthy.
Fully healthy?
Yep.
Saquon Barkley.
Exactly. There is a gap there.
So would you rather have Jamar Chase or Saquon Barkley?
Saquon.
Fully healthy.
Saquon.
For a year.
I need Saquon.
Oh wow.
I need a top tier RB. I'll go find someone else in the receivers that could fill a top 6 spot later on. That's fine.
You're not going to find it.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to find it. Okay, look, let me just tell you this quick story really quick.
Go for it.
And this is also why I've broken down myself.
Chris Olave. I'll give you some Chris Olave, baby.
Oh,
I don't
man.
need that.
You didn't even say Garrett Wilson. You said Chris Olave?
I like Olave.
Man, he's decent, but remember, we said Mike Thomas was coming back. Remember that.
That's okay. That takes less pressure off Chris Olave. He doesn't have to be a double teamed. So that's actually better. People think that having another person on there eating up targets is the worst thing, but unless you're Cooper Kupp, who can just beat double coverage, or JJ, or those top guys, having someone else who's good is important. Like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is a good example of that.
Or TD Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, it's important to have that. So just saying. But go ahead to your story.
Okay, so I've played in this league. It's a little bit unconventional when it comes to fantasy football. 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 or 3 flex or something like that. And I just loaded up tight end. I forgot about tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I just loaded up with wide receivers, man. I have, if we talk about top 15 wide receivers, I have at least 6 or 7 of them every year. And
That's cool. Good luck playing them all.
I play them. I play them and I trade them and I trade. Oh yeah, it's not the strategy is to have it so someone comes knocking on your door.
People need running backs because you just said the number 1 injury is running backs. So if I got good tier running backs, which happened to me last year, I had people knocking at my door. People offering me stacks and stacks, man. They come and get these running backs that they need.
Man, let me just. I'm just gonna finish it with
Go
this.
ahead.
I'm just gonna finish it with this. First year, 3rd place. 2nd place, 1st place, 3rd place, 3rd place. 5 years with that lineup. And honestly, man, what really killed me is I'll be honest, I need to figure out when and how to draft quarterbacks, man.
I'm a late round drafter.
Man, I've been a late round drafter, and I've been a year too late. I've been a year too late.
I say late, but I should say mid late. Like we're talking like 8, 9, 10. You know, I'll kind of hit in that space. I won't wait till like 11, 12, 13. I won't wait quite that long. But like rounds 8, 9, 10, I'm down to wait for and just see what happens.
Man, I'm just a year too late. The year Carson Wentz went off, had injury, came back. After that, I picked him. Year too late. Jared Goff goes to the Super Bowl. Pick him the year after that.
Do you only pick one when you're drafting, or do you get a one true QB and a one? I hope that you turn into Lamar Jackson or a Patrick Mahomes, or I don't want to go that high, but we'll say Lamar Jackson. Like, hopefully that's somebody that just produces crazy fantasy value.
Dude, I'm just trying to get somebody who throws the ball, who plays service. I mean, but I look at it though, right? I look at the numbers. Like I said, I'm just 1 year too late. Jared Goff played great last year, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But the year after he went to the Super Bowl before they traded him, he stunk it up the very next year. He just stunk. And then, like last year, I thought Derek Carr with Devontae Adams stunk. He stunk.
Gotcha.
Russell Wilson stunk.
So let's circle into then. If we're in round 6, 7, 8, and you have players like, let's say, Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, Brian Robinson, somewhere in there, or if you had, let's see here, let me pull up my board. There we go. George Pickens, Johnson, Pittman, Marquise Brown. They're going, in the area that's actually, 5, 6, 7. Are you leaning on the running backs there? Or are you leaning on the wide receivers there?
Running backs. I'm out.
So that's your zone of RB then. So you're a little earlier than a 0 RB person. So
it goes. So my thing is that I guess I'm a 0 QB person then, because I think that
that's
every quarterback in the league has the opportunity to produce, right? They're all set up to produce crazy value numbers, right? It's a passing league. And with that being said, there's 32 quarterbacks. They start, they'll start and finish a game. There's not unless you're looking at someone like Davis Mills, you know what I mean? But 12 teams, even if you started 2 quarterbacks, that's 24 quarterbacks, right? So you still got a pretty good chance to
get
land somebody decent. And so, I'm always looking at the decent guys. I guess I'm a 0 quarterback guy.
So quarterback, you're okay looking at the decent guys. Running back, looking at the decent guys, but your wide receivers, even though you can only play 3, you want to go all out.
Yes.
I don't know. I can get enough good talent at wide receiver later in the rounds, because as I'm looking at this, I could take. I'm cool taking guys like McLaurin, Ayuk. There's Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley at 42. There's DK Metcalf at 35, Devontae Smith at 33. So I'm fine waiting. I'm fine with all that. I'm not looking because the people that you're talking about are usually first rounders anyway. So if I'm trying to go for Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, they're gone, right? AJ Brown, they're probably gone by the time if I'm picking on my second round, right, or second turn, depending on where I'm drafting. So I'm okay sitting down and waiting, getting some good RBs early on, where I'm gonna still get some great receiver value later on in the league. So
you don't think right now, right, in the later rounds, someone like
DJ Moore,
someone like
Watson,
someone like Khalil Herbert.
I don't really care for Khalil Herbert. I don't know if he's going to be the full-time guy, especially. I hate throwing injury at everything because you can always poke at it's football. Injury is everything. But I'm going to go on healthy season. The way that Fields runs a lot, which I don't know if he's going to progress as a passer or not, and the running back that they picked up is probably going to share some of that workload. So, and I don't know how much they trust him, so I don't really care for Khalil Herbert.
But
in as far as a running back 2-3 for my team.
But
he probably could be. He probably could be Jerick McKinnon. I think that's where his ceiling is, though, is Jerick McKinnon. That's a running back 3. So
Hey, running back 3 can start for me. Then you got, and then I mean, like think about guys, in those later rounds. I mean,
So
there's
let's talk some tight end. We talk a lot about receiver, running back, but where we fill that void, that could be something that tips the scale for. Let's say you don't want these RBs or you don't want these wide receivers, but you get a decent tight end. Does that help maybe fill some of those missing points?
man. You know what? I'll give you this strategy, and I'll give it to the people. If I can't get Mark Andrews, I don't care what tight end I have.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a tier. There's Travis Kelce, but then he's on a tier of his own, and then it's like the second tier.
Hey,
where
whoa,
it's
whoa.
No. Travis Kelce is on
There's
his own.
Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews.
No, Mark Andrews in the second tier. He's easily his stats weren't even close to what Travis Kelce's. I know he's playing with Huntley, but he wasn't even close to Kelce last year.
Go ahead.
He played well, and he played well with Huntley, and he was Huntley's go-to. But there were so many. I had Andrews, and once Lamar went down, the dud games just went to the roof. So I like Andrews, but he now has, and this could help him. Too much competition. There's like a threshold. Like if there's one other player on there, that's okay. Like Odell by himself. But now there's Odell, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman at some point will be back, and then there's Mark Andrews, right? So, I don't know if there's too many people filling that void for where to take too many targets away. Where that threshold kind of hits.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of what you're saying here. But
You don't like. You think Andrews and Kelce are in the same tier? Have you seen Kelce's past seasons?
Yeah, because Lamar Jackson or whatever, Patrick Mahomes throws
Exactly.
the ball 18 times a game. And even with
exactly, that's
listen,
what puts him in his own
listen,
tier.
even
target
with,
share puts him in his own tier.
Even with Lamar Jackson running the ball as much as he does, Mark Andrews is right there. And just like you said, Lamar Jackson went down.
Look at that, 22.
Lamar Jackson went down, and guess what? He balled still. And with Lamar,
he had some good games, but it was a very heavy roller coaster where Travis Kelce has a more consistent pattern.
Man.
And that's what puts him in the tier of his own because his pattern is more consistent. Not a roller coaster. George Kittle was a roller coaster. He had great games last year too.
Okay, so check this. Here we are. So last year, Travis Kelce played all 17 games, right? Or 16 games. And he had 152 targets. Mark Andrews had 113 targets. That's without Lamar Jackson, right? Travis Kelce had 1,300 yards. Mark Andrews had 850.
But I think where Andrews comes in is 120, and I think that's maybe 125, and that's where he caps out.
But when Lamar played a whole season in the 2021 season, Mark Andrews had 154 targets, 1,300 yards, and 9 TDs, all
by himself.
Travis Kelce.
All when he was by himself. I can go look at Travis Kelce's best season. I bet you it's better than that.
I'm not saying that's his best season. I'm just saying when there's a healthy Lamar Jackson and he's able to get the ball to him. Is this like asking, would you rather have Michael Jordan playing on your team or me? Right? Like, I can play some ball, but I'm not Michael Jordan. Like, no. Tyler Huntley is not Lamar Jackson.
He's not Lamar Jackson, but he did feed Andrews as much as he could when he was on the field. That was his go-to. You go back and watch those games. Who's Huntley looking for in those games? Who? Tell me.
When he's not throwing the ball in the dirt?
Who's he looking
overthrowing
for?
it?
Who's he looking for it?
I don't know. I didn't watch no Ravens game after. I didn't have Mark Andrews last year.
And Lamar was there for part of that season too. So
that's when he balled, when Lamar was there.
Some games. I had him last year. Lamar did not always get that ball out to him.
Man, he's a Ravens fan. We see this flag
exactly.
Right here. He's a Ravens
That's
fan.
why you know if I'm hating a little bit that it pains me to, but it's the real.
Man, Mark Andrews must have did something to him.
Yeah, he killed me during the season, man. I got third place because he couldn't step up.
Well, I think that for me, man, I guess I wouldn't say that I'm a zero running back guy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm a mid running back guy. I'm a zero quarterback guy.
I'll agree
And
with you on that, though. That's 100%.
Yeah.
See, there's our agreed point.
there
right
we go.
there.
There we go. So I think that right here, we're gonna leave you guys and come back and see what Jared has to say about his
Yeah, we
draft
talked about your
strategy.
draft
Yeah,
strategy.
we talked
so,
about mine and my
yeah.
wide receiver and
So
zero
I'll
quarterback.
elaborate a little bit more on my running backs and the why. Then we can go into there'll be some similar crossover information, but on that one too, we'll dive into some of our round picks and stuff. We'll dive into what we're looking for in some of these rounds 6 through 12, what we're looking for in 12 through 16, and kind of like some of our sleepers are what we're give a little bit of our secrets, I guess, a little bit more. So in
Yeah.
that next one,
Yeah.
so we'll do that.
So thank y'all for tuning in. Find us
Yeah,
on
appreciate
Legendary
y'all.
_Sports Podcast, and we'll be back with you guys soon.
Another round. Take care. Peace.